Hello, our poster is on motor learning and sleep. So first we'll talk about memory formation stages. There are 4 stages in which memory formation occurs. The first is encoding or acquisition, which is when memory forms into a representation in the brain. The second, consolidation, is when memory becomes more permanent. The third, storage, is the maintenance of memory in the brain over time. And finally, recall. It's the ability to bring the memory out of storage for use. Consolidation seems to be the stage most affected by sleep, and that is why individuals that sleep between practice and retention testing have greater improvements in their task performance than participants who stayed awake. What they have learned is more likely to be consolidated. Now we'll talk sleep stages. There are 4. Besides stage 1 of the non-rapid eye movement, they all contribute to memory formation and in turn motor learning. The first is rapid eye movement. During REM, excitatory waves project to the hippocampus and the amygdala. The intensity and density of these waves increases after intensive learning and correlates with task improvement. Some individuals have proposed that the waves produced are regulators of synaptic plasticity. Additionally, REM sleep has shown to eliminate and maintain postsynaptic dendritic spines in mice. If these ideas are true and translate to humans, they would also contribute to learning through changes in long-term potentiation and depression. The next stage, non-rapid eye movement, is separated into 4 substages. Generally, non-REM is thought to be the stage where short-lasting potentiation becomes long-lasting potentiation through increased protein synthesis, allowing for synaptic strengthening. Specifically, non-REM 2 is characterized by the presence of sleep spindles and K complexes. Sleep spindles are bursts of brain activity, and the sleep spindle activity causes a calcium influx at the dendrites, triggering molecular processes that result in gene expression and protein synthesis. This gene expression and protein synthesis is required for the development of long-term potentiation. The slow wave sleep stage involves slow oscillations, which are coordinated increases in activity of a group of neurons, and these slow oscillations create a period of sustained firing and silencing of the neurons, which is thought to contribute to synaptic depression and synaptic potentiation. In regards to types of memories, as we learned in class, there are 2 classifications for motor learning: declarative and non-declarative. Declarative and non-declarative memories or learning use different parts of the brain. Declarative learning utilizes the medial temporal lobe, while non-declarative, or more specifically procedural learning, uses more distributed neural circuits such as the sensory motor cortex, cerebellum, and basal ganglia. There are many theories as to how these different classifications of motor learning are affected by sleep, but nothing is very definitive. That being said, declarative memory or learning is thought to require more slow-wave sleep, while procedural memory or learning is thought to require more stage 2 non-REM or REM sleep. There are a few other points that should be noted in regards to this. The first is that factors such as emotional connection, cognitive load, and initial skill of an individual appears to change what sleep stage is required for the individual to learn during sleep. The next is that some studies show it may be possible that non-declarative or declarative memory systems compete with one another during learning and consolidation. And another point is that there is research showing that non-declarative learning may be able to be consolidated with just time off practicing the skill without the requirement of sleep. Now to cover some other factors to consider. The first will be timing. So when looking at this, you have to consider daytime naps versus full night sleeps. Daytime naps have slower spindle density, but higher spindle activity and amplitude. Because REM 2 stages rely on spindles for the development of long-term potentiation, this is an important factor to note. Naps are shown to protect declarative memory from deterioration, while full night sleep actually leads to improved performance. Although both have different physiological characteristics, they have been shown to both induce motor behavior gains in complicated and simple tasks. Another consideration is insomnia and sleep deprivation. Sleep deprivation causes deterioration of motor and neurocognitive performance with a decreased capacity to learn, store, and retrieve material. This is affected by many aspects, but a few that are believed to influence it is a change in neurotransmitter release, increased cortical excitability, and reduced protein synthesis required for synaptic plasticity. Studies have shown that tasks involving longer lasting physical efforts and or higher cognitive demands are the most affected by sleep deficits. Additionally, studies have shown that an individual that is sleep deprived is more likely to have errors in their performance than someone well rested. As for individuals that have experienced a stroke, they often struggle with both motor behavior deficits and lack of quality sleep, making it more difficult for themselves to improve their motor behavior. This lack of sleep may occur due to increased insomnia, breathing disturbances, medication effects, increased daytime inactivity, and more. This decrease in sleep has been linked to significant cognitive and attentional deficits. This may affect not only memory consolidation, but also initial acquisition and encoding of new memories. There's not much research in relation to sleep stages and motor behavior improvements, but one study showed stroke survivors with higher slow wave activity correlated with poorer functional recovery. This is interesting when considering what I spoke about earlier in regards to the topics of sleep stages and types of learning they contribute to. So more slow wave sleep would be associated with development of declarative memory, but since it is hypothesized that declarative and non-declarative learning compete with one another, this would cause less improvements in motor behavior requiring non-declarative memory. So that is everything we have to share. Thank you for taking a look at our poster.